find that you want to just clean out all of your configurations and settings because you've made a mess of them and things just don't work right, you can click this button and it'll just wipe out the entire database and start from scratch. So that's an option. There's also a feature here called Manage Data. If you're getting a brand new Android device, your time for your upgrade, for instance, and you want to export all of your Bluetooth connections and everything to your new device, so you don't have to reconfigure everything. You can use this export database to SD card. When you click this, it'll export it. It'll tell you where it exported it, and now you can use a file manager like ES File Explorer or several others out on the market to grab this file and drop it into your new device. One thing I will say though is it has to be in that same location on the new device, and then you can use this import database from SD card feature. You can also export the database as an XML, so if you wanted to actually read the information in the database, you could do that with this button here. And then your last saved location, you can export that using this button here. It turns out this feature is not really that important anymore now that I have device-specific location capture, and I'll show you what I mean by that. If I hold down on a device, it'll pop up, this is a long press, it'll pop up this. If I had a real connection, or real Bluetooth enabled mobile device, I'd actually have information in here. I'll show that here in a second. And if I click this button, it'll show me the location, the last saved location of this specific device. Versus the stored location, this only captures the last captured location from any device. Okay, so that's the difference. And remember, the short click, I can delete the device, I can edit it, which is what I started the discussion with, or OK just takes you back out of it. Okay, that's the basic features. Oh, one more thing I wanted to show. Click Menu again, and this is the Android menu key, so that depends on your device. This is actually an ice cream sandwich emulator right now, but the menu key does still function. On your actual device, it'll likely be a couple dots, or the menu key. The other thing I have here is the help. The help basically spawns the website and to the manual. So this is an open source project, and you can go out to this will take you right to that open source project. So you can view the manual. It'll explain in detail how to use the application. Goes through basically an overview of everything I've talked about here, how you edit devices, what all this stuff means, and so forth. You can get a lot of other information on this same device, or on the same website. For instance, if you go to the wiki, this is only showing the current page, but if I show all pages, just click search with a blank, then it'll show all the wiki pages available. So we were just looking at the manual. There's also the updates. This will tell you what changes from version to version and so forth. You can, even if you wanted to, dive in and take a look at the details of the source code. Again, this is an open source project. For those particularly nerdy folks like myself, that might be interesting. And downloads. This is where you can download the latest version. Actually, you can download any version from the downloads page. I keep this updated with the latest market version, and sometimes I put test versions out prior to releasing to the market so that some folks can do some application testing for me. Okay, now I'm going to show the features on an actual device. This is a Droid 3, my main device, and this is A2DP Volume. Notice that in this case I do have a lot of devices that it found. I'm going to turn on a Bluetooth device now, and it's this Go Groove Smart Mini Bluetooth. These are available on the web. I bought mine from Newegg for about $44. It restreams in FM, so it's a very convenient device. You can use it in rental cars or whatever. It supports hands-free, and it supports A2DP for music and hands-free streaming. Okay, so I'm going to flip the device on now, and we'll watch what happens. So here's the device. actually connecting. It sees the connection. I've got it set up to auto launch a music playlist, and it starts playing the music through the stream. And I just have a dinky little speaker over here playing. So you see the car icon come up on the application. If I open it up, it shows what connected by the two little asterisks, so you can see what's connected. Now when I disconnect the device, I'm going to shut it off. Android, fortunately, for most music playing devices, will pause the music stream, or pause the music player when it sees the disconnect. So it hasn't yet seen a disconnect. There goes the disconnect. Now you'll see the timer start. It's trying to grab a GPS location. It's fixing the volume back to where I had it prior to the connection. You'll see the GPS capture icon up here. It'll keep notifying me periodically that it's still trying to capture. Eventually it times out. And then you see the icon go away. So now my GPS listeners are all turned off. Now if I want to find the location of this device, I can hold it and I can click location. This will pull up basically a web page that shows all the information related to the location. And these are hot links. So if I click on a hyperlink, it'll ask me any browser or any application that accepts GPS location data. I can now use this to view the location. So if I click on Maps, for instance, then it'll find it on Maps, and it puts the information about the device that it was, what time it captured it, and the accuracy, and zooms right into it. I also like using the GPS status app, which makes a great little application for actually locating us, this radar app. And so if you're out trying to find your car, you can use that and it'll just point you right to it. The nice thing about this is I never have to think about it. When the device disconnects, it grabs the location for me every time. I don't have to remember to push a button. I don't have to sit there waiting for a location. I don't even think about it. The phone stays in my pocket the whole time. And if I ever lose my car, like at the airport for instance, I just pull out my device, I pull up the last car that I had driven there, find the location, and you're good to go. Another thing I'll point out is, back to that location feature, one thing that I find convenient is you can bookmark it as well. So if I bookmark this file, notice it's a file based in the SD card, then I can just pull it up at any time with a shortcut on my desktop. So here's for instance one of my cars. I have a shortcut right to, and here's the last location data that I had on that vehicle. I also have a widget. You can see the stored location widget. You install it like any other widget, but it's just part of the application, and if you click on that, it'll take you to the last location and you pull it up just like I did before in the Maps or the browser. And that's basically all the widget does. Okay, that covers a basic overview. This is as of version 2.3.14. Features are added all the time. If there's something that you don't like about the application, you're having problems with the application, you want enhancement to the application, I have an issues list. And you can basically just launch a new issue right on this issues list, and it's available from the help. If you look at the top, you'll be at this website. And just submit a new issue to me. I work these issues through, I prioritize them and work them through. That's how a lot of the features were created for this. It was from user feedback, as people found problems, bugs, wanted enhancements, whatever. I add those issues and I actually work them that way. So by all means, feel free to add an issue. I'd much rather have that. Don't just give me negative feedback if you have a problem. By all means, add an issue here. Send me an email, ask me about your issue, whatever. And again, I work through those. So that's about it for the video. Thanks a lot.